Every now and then, we get the opportunity to play a game that can be considered generational, such as Elden Ring, Witcher 3, and also The Last of Us. And we are at that time again where we can play a game that not only fits into that category, but it also evolves its respective genre. This game is Expedition 33. I'm sure you've all heard of this game, seeing as though it just clean sweeps at the Game Awards. Expedition 33 is a game that hits highs in nearly every aspect of a game. The gameplay, the story, the music, the characters. And this game was also developed by a group of around 30 people, which is pretty impressive. As I wanted to earn the platinum, I got to experience every aspect of this game, which had my emotions all over the place. So, strap yourselves in, get some popcorn, as I take you on the journey of Expedition 33. The game starts off right away with introducing you to the world and some of the characters you'll be playing as along the way. The city we get introduced to is called Lumiere, and as you can tell, this game is heavily influenced by France. This is Gustave, who we play as, and Maëlle, his adopted sister. At this point, we find out they are both going on the next expedition, which departs the next day. So Gustave wants to give a flower and speak to someone called Sophie, who is basically his lover. So off I went with Maëlle to get some flowers, and I got introduced to some maneuvers such as this grapple technique, and I got an intro into the combat system, which is perfect by the way, as it felt a lot more action based than a standard turn-based RPG. This was due to the parrying system really. On the journey we got hints to what's actually coming, such as Sophie turning 33, and we finally got to meet up with her, which ended up being very awkward, and I got a bad vibe from this, like they were both nervous, and I was not prepared for what was to come. They both start talking about how Gustave's expedition will put a stop to the Paintress so that nobody else will die. And after hearing this, I was starting to get concerned. I then got the opportunity to play as Sophie and explore Lumiere, while making my way to the docks. While exploring, I found this mime stood in the corner near the docks, and it challenged me to a battle, which provided me the practice I needed for future battles. Oh, wrong button. I was doing. Oh my god. I am bad. I am bad at this. I am terrible at parrying. Holy balls. I'm awful at that. What the hell? Get him, Gustave. Ah, what's that for? Time to spill some ink. Break an enemy. I don't know what that means. Overcharge. After stunning the mime and picking up them 2 trophies, it was a lot easier to defeat it, as he was a lot weaker due to the stun. And after defeating him, I got a trophy, and it's a good job I did do this as well, as it was a missable trophy, and I'd have to replay the game to get it. As I entered the docks, you could see the Paintress in the background, who, yeah, she's a bitch basically. But I got a message as well, saying that the Gamage will start, which I didn't really know what it was at this point, but I was about to find out. Sandford were pretty much trying to get me invested in a relationship to only tear it down right before my eyes as the Paintress awakened, displaying a new number, and yeah, it was 33. Oh, she's moving. Okay. Oh shit.
I'm here.
Oh no. What the fuck? Did not expect that. Wow. Screw the Paintress. Whoever you are, we're gonna f you up. Man, I nearly cried. Oh, Gustave. It all makes sense now. Son of a bitch, now we hate her. It's safe to say this prologue got me very invested in this game. I'm putting a stop to the paintress, which was the whole point of an expedition, by the way. As you can tell, no expedition in the past has put a stop to her yet. The next morning came round and it was time to set off on our expedition, and that wrapped up the prologue, which gave me a trophy as well. The first bit of land we come across definitely gave me the impression that it's about to go down, and I seemed to be right. Who's this geezer?
Expedition are you from?
Oh shit. That's our leader dead. Oh my god. Good start. Let's get out of here. Well, everyone is dying. The hell is that?
Come on!
Our boy Lucian.
Fucking snap out!
Oh shit, Lucian! What, who's gonna live? Well. Oh well. And all of that was just part of the prologue. And just from that, I could tell I was going to be in for a whirlwind of a ride. Gustav then wakes up in a place we don't know, so we set off to go try Farmael, and on my way around we get introduced to some of the enemies I will be fighting. What is that? Oh, let's kick its ass. The stupid tree with loads of stones inside it. Oh! Oh, get wrecked. I slaps that guy's ass. Bend over and give it a good old spank. As you can tell, pulling off counters with the parry system was very satisfying. Eventually, I reached a point where we found a lot of dead expeditioner bodies, and Gustav was starting to think he was the only one left, so he decided he was going to kill himself. No, don't kill yourself. But then Lune showed up, which is another playable character of the game, and she persuaded Gustav to fight on. So we did. Each character has their own unique fight style. With Lune, she was basically a mage. With her skills you could get these things called stains, which you could then use with other skills for bonuses such as more damage. After the battle I also got told about another feature which was very important if I wanted to beat the endgame bosses. These items were called Pictos, and they would give you different passive abilities, such as an extra action point for performing a perfect dodge. You could only equip 3 of these per character, but the system improves throughout the game to give you a way to equip more, which I'll explain at a later point. While exploring I came across different expedition flags, which would now allow me to restart to get my health back, at the cost of respawning enemies though. A bit like in Soulsborne games. But most importantly, at the flags I could also level up my attributes, which made my characters a lot stronger, and I could also unlock new skills to use. I then soldiered on through this world, battling a bunch of different enemies and learning the basics of the combat system, which really had me hooked at this point. I kept beating different enemies which allowed me to level up a couple of times, and I even found another mime, which again I defeated quickly once I stunned it. The hell? Ah! Let's just overcharge it. Lovely jubbly. It turns out the mimes are there to give you cosmetic items for defeating them, such as this French inspired one. Now that I was getting used to the combat, I was finding it a bit easy, so it was only a matter of time before one enemy put me in my place. Oh, just one hit me. Oh, I was close. Expedition failed. First time I died. Again, really? Ah! Yes. Yes. Oh! I think I've done it. Yes! After getting my first taste of a challenging enemy, I swiftly moved on until I found this expedition journal, which is one of the collectibles in the game, and I'd find them right across the continent. I was also introduced to this white Nevron. Nevrons are the names of the enemies created by the paintress. The white Nevrons are friendly and usually have a side quest for you. There is a missable trophy for completing all the Nevron quests without killing any of the white Nevrons, as you get the choice to kill them. so I always made sure to complete these side quests. So off I went exploring again while flying around with Lune, collecting loot and slaying enemies like a baller. After completing this side quest by giving the Neveron an item, I moved on through this section until I reached the first boss. Leah? Oh, well, he's dead. What the hell? He lasted long. What the hell's this thing? This thing had shields which would only disappear after taking a hit, so I had to hit the boss 3 times before I could start damaging its health. Yeah! Easy. Uh-oh. What the hell's that do? This ain't good. Should kill it. It should kill it. It should kill it. It didn't kill it. What the hell? What's happening? Ah! Let's go, team. Epic finish. After the boss, we found a message from one of our expeditioners telling us that they've took Mael to the coral area. So that was our next goal, as we had now finished this area, rewarding me with a trophy. I now had access to the overworld, which was inspired from the classic JRPG games such as Final Fantasy, but it was modernised and it looked and felt fantastic. From the overworld, I could explore the continent more by accessing different areas, which I made use of before going to the coral area. Some areas had danger at the entrance to them, which was an obvious sign to not enter, but I was feeling brave and entered anyway, and basically I learnt my lesson. 2,000 damage! It did say danger. I don't think I'm supposed to come here. One feature I could use in the overworld was the camp, which would allow the expedition team to rest and talk things over, which Gustav and Lune did by having a heated debate about carrying on the expedition. After the talk, I could explore the camp, but all I could do at this point was talk to Lune and use a flag to level up, as I'd unlock many more features as I progressed through the story. Now I could carry on by reaching Mael's location, so I entered the Flying Waters area, and this area was pretty unique with the look of being underwater. In this area I came across my first painted cage, which was a loot chest basically, and to unlock it I had to shoot 3 locks. This gave me a trophy, and you always get useful loot from them, such as this extra elixir, so that I could heal my party without resting at a flag. On my way to Mael, I got plenty of opportunities to practice my parrying skills and level up to learn even more skills. At this point I was also unlocking more Pictos, and now I could make use of the Luminous feature. Let me explain how this works. So when you get a Pictos, you can master it by filling up the outer border, which takes 4 battles. Once you've mastered it, you can equip it using Lumina points, which means you have the skill equipped without having it in one of your 3 Pictos slots. As you progress through the game, you earn more Lumina points, which you will need as some of the skills further into the game cost 40 points to equip. This Lumina system is basically what makes or breaks your build. So yeah, it's pretty important to use this. Then after earning a bunch of XP and exploring every corner, I reached my destination, which was this weird door thing. Hello? Anyone home? We're getting sucked in. Oh, The door led to this massive manor place, which I could explore, and I found out that basically all the doors were locked at this point, which I'd be able to unlock as I progress. But one was unlocked for now, which is where Mael was located, and Gustav had his little reunion, which he wanted, and we got introduced to a character called the Curator. What the frick is that? And before leaving, I got to practice with Mael, and she had 3 battle stances which all gave different bonuses. These stances were defense, offense, and virtuous stance, and virtuous was pretty overpowered if utilised properly. After leaving the manor, I got introduced to Noko, who was a part of the Gestrals, and they were a unique race, you could say. They were created by the Paintress, and Noko revealed that we needed to travel across the water to reach the Paintress, and Noko's leader in the Gestral village had the answer to crossing the water. The Gestrals were also merchants who could buy stuff from, such as new weapons and Pictos. You could also battle them to unlock better items to purchase, and you'd find these merchants all across the continent. And with that done, I reached the boss of this area, who seemed to get pissed off whenever we touched his flower. Oh, he's a big boy. The boss wasn't too hard at all, as with Mael and Gustav's overcharge ability, I destroyed it pretty quickly. After leaving the area, we experienced one of Mael's nightmares, where she saw a mysterious figure, and then Gustav and Mael bonded for a bit, which showed the connection between the two characters. The creator was now in camp as well, and I could upgrade weapons using items called catalysts, which I would find all over the continent. And I could also now upgrade my max lumina for each character, so I'd equip even more Pictos. At camp, you could also get these optional scenes when resting at the campfire, and this gave me a trophy for witnessing one. The optional scenes just showed the expedition team bonding more, and was getting myself invested into the characters, especially Gustav. It was a bit of a baller. Now I could make my way into the Gestural village, but first I had to make it through the ancient sanctuary, where we came across a trap from the Gestrals, thinking we were enemies. Everyone alert! And in the fights through the sanctuary, I realised that my parrying really wasn't as good as I thought it was, and I needed plenty of practice if I was going to beat the end game, as it is quite tough. What the hell, man? My parrying is not on point. And now I could make my way around the sanctuary, which was like a massive maze, as it had me crawling under rocks, and I came across some more mimes in this area. After a lot of exploring, I luckily found the correct route, which led me to being challenged by the Gestrals to be their ultimate champion, in order for me to make it through this area. This boss did have some different abilities such as these cannons, which I got the hang of parrying and dodging after a while. Eventually I got this bad boy down, and I was able to leave the ancient sanctuary. Die already! Yes! Ancient sanctuary. With that done, I could go into the Gestural village and meet up with their leader, called Golgra. What the f*** is going on here? Why are there a bunch of paintbrushes doing press-ups? And this is where I discovered how much I'd actually like the Gestrals. The Gestrals were pretty straight-minded individuals, and Golga told us that we had to prove ourselves in a tournament before we could meet SKA, who was a legendary being that could take us across the water. I entered the tournament where I could only fight with one person, so I chose Mael and beat all the Gestral champions pretty easily, which led to us meeting with the final fighter, which was another expeditioner called Cecile. And she was happy to see us, but we still had to battle her with Mael, and with Mael's one-hit attack, it was easy. After the fight, Cecile joined the party, and I learned how to use her unique ability, which was applying a buff called Foretell, which would allow Cecile to do more damage with some of her abilities. Each ability had either a sun or moon charge, and once using both types, I would unlock Twilight mode to deal even more damage. With Golga's task done, she gave us a password to enter SKA's cave. But before I set out, I could challenge Golgra, who I don't think I was ready for yet. Oh, Jesus Christ! One hit me. Yeah, let's not let's not do that. I also explored the village a bit, where I got ambushed by some Gestral gangsters who I had to put back in their place, and a lot of other Gestrals were certainly friendly. After many laughs exploring the village, I decided it was time to move on, and I got a trophy for doing so. Back at the camp, the group were talking about how they couldn't wait to meet the legendary SKA, who they heard about in tales, but Mael zoned out and started seeing this new character. The frick? Who are you? She was called Alicia, and the white-haired man who killed everyone on the beach appeared, saying that it is Mael's fault, whatever that means. He threatened Mael, and she came out of this trance, which traumatized her to be honest, and she revealed to the group what she was told. I then entered SKA's nest, where the group had the fun of giving the password to enter. Turns out it wasn't needed, as the guard didn't even know the password himself. The nest was unique looking, and I reached SKA pretty quick, who quickly became another favourite character of mine. For SKA to help us, we needed to get one of his rocks from his arch nemesis called Francois. These rocks would give SKA new abilities, such as this one would allow him to swim, which is exactly what we needed. So I set off to find Francois, who was a bit pissed off to see us.
A rock? I am not a rock. Do you have rocks for eyes? Eskia! Stop sending hooligans over here!
Glory.
So, not only are you intruding, you're here to steal? Oh my word! Humans! Well, over my dead body!
This is great. The hell? Nice. With the rock in our possession, we return to SK to find out that SK's rock is actually in the Stonewave Cliffs. SK agreed to join us to get the rock back, which gave me a trophy and then another one for finishing the area. With SK joining the party, I can now travel around a lot quicker and travel across rocky areas, which I couldn't before. While making my way north up the map towards the Stonewave Cliffs, I decided to explore the continent a bit more, where I found some stuff which would contribute towards the trophies, such as this musical record. I also found another white Neveron with a quest, and I also found some more journals. But the area that impressed me the most was my introduction to the parkour puzzles, which were found at these gestural beaches. Don't roll off! That was close. Oh! Just made it. Jump! I've done it. I've done it. Nice. This was just the first gestural minigame, and I'd come across many of these across the continent, and in each one you'd get a swimsuit cosmetic as the reward for the characters to wear. Oh my god, what the frick is that? Another fun side area I found was the hidden gestural arena, which I strolled on a bit as my parrying still wasn't perfected. Ah, that one gets me. That gets me every time, that one. God damn it. Oh, I missed that one. Nearly died. Oh my god, man. One hit me. What the frick? Oh, I give up. Yeah, I gave up on this and moved on, and I'd come across other areas like this that I just wasn't good enough yet. It was a skill issue, and I just had to get good. Now that I was starting to level up more and unlock more skills, I easily acquired the combat trophy from IL, in which I had to mark an enemy first with the Gustav's skill, and then use Pierce on that enemy while in virtuous stance. This gave me the Synergy trophy. After a lot of sidetracking, I reached the part of the map where the Stonewave Cliffs were located, but before entering, I found this big overworld boss, which was a bit annoying as it could swallow a member party, so I could only fight with 2. The fight was long, which led to Lune getting the chance to use skills that would use up her stains for 4 turns in a row, which was her combat trophy. I was also starting to get some good Pictos at this point, such as recovering health on parry, and with these better Pictos I could start to make some pretty decent builds. But before entering the cliffs area, Mael had another nightmare, which revealed a glimpse at some of the mysterious characters appearing again. Gustav and Mael then bond over throwing rocks, which made me more invested in how cool Gustav actually was. Before I left the camp, I got to upgrading some weapons, and especially Mael's Medallum, which had insane abilities, and I ended up using this weapon for the full game, even right at the end. Finally, I had reached the Stonewave Cliffs. On my way through the cliffs, I discovered new enemies, which I would have to find different ways to kill, such as having to use free aim to kill some of them due to them dodging ground attacks. Like I have been doing in every area, I made sure to look around every corner to find collectibles, so that it would save me time at the end game. After a lot of time making my way through lots of new enemy types and completing another Neveron quest, I reached a dark cave which was giving me very creepy vibes. I wonder what I'm going to be fighting. This ain't creepy at all. What is that? To be honest, this boss completely misled me, as what happened next I can't even explain. That was easy. See you later. Get shanked in the ass.
Hey, don't
There's second phase.
What's happening?
That was way too easy. Gonna say. We'll finish it off. That was very easy. The hell's happening? I'm actually scared what's gonna happen.
Well, you know, like I always say, it's not about the rock. It's more about...
What? 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 He can't die. Oh no. Gustav.
For those who come after,
Oh no. Gustav's not gonna die, is he?
right?
No, 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 no. I did not expect this. I couldn't believe what just happened, to be honest. I was in shock, as I didn't expect it at all. Then this bastard told Mael that this was a kindness and gave us this weird vision. He then tried to kill Mael until the goat showed up. This was the guy who had been seeing in the visions. The two of them had an interaction as if they knew each other, and I was confused at this point. I was so like, what the hell? Well, that was a lot. With what just happened, Mael was not in a good way. Neither was Lune and Cecile, as they reminisced about Gustav. The guy who saved us then turned up to give us Gustav's robotic arm. We found out that he was part of Expedition Zero, which was the first expedition to go out. So he should be dead, but he's not for reasons he doesn't know. The guy who just killed the staff was called Renoir, and he was in Expedition Zero also. The goat decides to team up with a group to take down the Paintress and Renoir. He also revealed his name is Versa, and this began Act 2. Now that I unlocked Versa, I could start developing relationships with other characters by talking to them in camp. So I made a start on this, as it would allow me to unlock more skills as I developed the relationship. In these conversations, I found out that Versa and SKA are already friends from the past. With the cliffs now done, we also acquired SKA's rock, which allowed us to travel across water. This opened up lots of new areas to explore as I made my way towards the Paintress. I came across another gestural beach which had volleyball type of minigame, and I had to parry rockets back at the gestural in order to win, which did take me a couple of tries to get done. While exploring, I also got to try Versa in battle, who was another one of my favourite characters to use, as his unique ability was called Perfection, where I had a grade which I could rank up all the way to S by pulling hits and parries off on enemies. If I got hit, I would lose some Perfection, and as you can see, I got a trophy for reaching S rank with him for the first time. So after finding more collectibles, completing more side quests, returning to beat the hidden gestural arena, I arrived at a big gate blocking my way forward, and this area was called the Forgotten Battlefield, where there was a lot of dead bodies, and before entering, Versus said he knew the perfect place to lay Gustav to rest, which is at the end of the battlefield. Now I had unlocked another battle mechanic called Gradient Counters, where I could press R2 to pull this parry off. It was like a normal parry, but I'd have to use this move when the screen turned dark. So with my team composition of Versa, Mael and Lune, I set off into the battlefield to take on a wide range of different enemies. As usual, I made sure to explore every corner, getting collectibles and whooping asses to level up and earn new skills. Eventually, we arrived at a bridge where Mael started to feel the loss of Gustav more by blaming everyone else. After Cecile calmed her down, a mysterious figure appeared. This gammons business. This was the duelist boss, and it was the coolest design boss so far at this point. I was kind of destroying bosses with Mael as well, as once I got her in virtuous stance, I would use Pierce to do very high damage to the boss. At times, I was doing max damage, which was 9,999. Versa was also overpowered with his Perfection ability. After beating both phases of this boss, it ended in a pretty epic way. Badass. That was sick. Now the duelist was defeated, I returned to the surface and reached the end of this area where we would lay Gustav to rest. This cutscene was another one which just showed how well written this game is. Not only that, but the music just goes so well with every moment, and it only keeps improving the further I go. It did make me feel a bit depressed, but I still couldn't wait to continue, as I had now wrapped up the Forgotten Battlefield, rewarding me with a trophy. Man, this game is powerful. Jeez. Back at camp, Versa revealed we need to head to Monaco station to recruit his friend for extra firepower. Versa also said we need to head to Lumiere after we've got Monaco to destroy the Paintress's heart in order to reach our location. Now I could explore the continent further, so on my way to Monaco station, I met some new enemies and some overworld bosses as well, which I definitely wasn't ready for. There was also some more Neverone quests such as this one, where I had to parry red attacks and get hit by green ones. And after a lot of exploring, I arrived at Monaco station, which was just a train station inside this icy mountain. But most importantly, I met the man himself, Monaco. It was certainly unique and brought even more character to the team. He wanted us to fight him before joining up with us, so we agreed and then got the honour of listening to some great music. Music. Monaco had the ability to turn into enemies and use their abilities, something I'd take advantage of throughout this playthrough. The fight was pretty easy though. After the fight, Noko from the beginning of the game appeared, asking for our help to beat a Neverone. So we obviously did, and we got introduced to gradient attacks, which are even more powerful attacks I could use by gaining charge on this bar. The boss itself was easy, and we got Monaco's approval, but then he found out where we was going.
Old Lumiere. Okay, bye. Hey, come on.
He's like, "F that shit, I'm out."
Don't you reckon?
With a lot of persuasion from Versa, Monaco agreed to join the expedition, which was the final team member. But before setting off, I got an introduction to Monaco's abilities, and he basically collects feet from enemies to unlock new skills. He also has this wheel which moves each turn, and if using a skill with the corresponding icon, I'll receive a bonus effect, such as more damage. Now that's explained, I was ready to head out and leave Monaco station and start making my way towards Old Lumiere. But obviously, I got distracted on my travels as I came across another gestural beach with an insane parkour course, which is very similar to the Only Up game which everyone was playing. This parkour challenge wasn't too difficult, but it certainly had its tense moments. But it's high. It's getting risky now. The frick? This was the only time that I fell off, and it was only frustrating because of how long the course actually was. If you just take your time with each jump, it is easy enough. My palms are sweaty. My palms are sweaty. Oh. The parkour champion, eh? The reward at the end was certainly interesting, as I got a swimsuit from Nurka to show his sexy ass off. Before arriving at Old Lumiere, I beat up some more world bosses and made sure to keep improving. I also changed my team composition to have Monaco in it, as there was a trophy which required me to unlock all his skills, which I needed to defeat different enemies for, so it would make it easier in the long run to have him in the party. It was also very fun using all these different enemy skills. Then I finally arrived at Old Lumiere, which was just a destroyed Lumiere with these weird golden swords everywhere. Verso said the heart was in the centre of the city, and Monaco tried to open the way for us, but ended up splitting the group in half. So now, I was playing as Monaco, Lune, and Cecile, which I enjoyed, as I got to play as the characters I hadn't used in a while. After a lot of battling, I eventually made it to this big monster thing called an Axon, and it had this giant sword stabbed in it, and at this point I didn't know whose sword it was, but I definitely do now, and you'll find out as we reach the endgame. Lune then finds a journal which reveals some information about Versa, and we didn't find out what it was yet, as the game switched to me playing as Versa and Mael instead. I got through their section very quick due to them being the most powerful characters. I just swept every enemy out of the way. Then Versa randomly disappeared, so I just had to play with Mael until I eventually arrived at this manor, which looked very familiar. A female version of the creator showed up, and some familiar faces also turned up again. In this scene, it was revealed that Renard is Verso's father, so yeah, that threw a spanner in the works. and we ended up fighting Renar so I could try and get revenge for Gustav. Oh, it's about to go down. Renar, you going down, you son of a bitch. I enjoyed this fight a lot as well, as I had a bit of a challenge to it, as I wasn't just one-shotting him with my L this time. He actually had a bit of a health pool. What does that do? Okay, well he just basically shut my mouth. Oh, that's what they do. Okay. Die. After beating Renar, he summoned some massive attack, which didn't end well. Oh, he's not even like... He's not even damaged one bit. Ooh. That looked like it hurt. No. Oh. No. Did not expect that. Minoka had died, which obviously pissed everyone off, as he helped us from the start, and Minoka was basically a dad to him. This led to Versa lashing out, and then Mael entered this black and white trance, where everyone else was frozen. The young girl with the white hair was called Alicia, and she appeared and she looked like a burnt version of Mael, but she wasn't much of a talker, as she then walked off again, taking the mana and Renar with her. Back at camp, Luna was accusing Versa of everything she possibly could. Minoka revealed we could bring Minoka back to life, but he wouldn't be himself, as he'd lose all his memories. Luna revealed that in the journal, she found the creator would be able to make a weapon to pierce the Pinch's barrier. So we questioned him, which led to Versa revealing that we need large amounts of chroma from Axons, who were really strong creatures and they were pretty big. So we do what we do best, and set out to these Axons to beat their asses. Now I could explore the final area of the continent map by knocking these corals down. So I went exploring first, where I came across more challenging bosses who just destroyed me. I also found these two mimes, which was a bit of a longer battle and gave me the chance to get another combat trophy. This time with Minoka, as I had to use 4 empowered skills in a row. So basically, I just kept using the skills which matched the symbol on the wheel. After doing this 4 times in a row, I got the wheel control trophy. I also managed to reach level 33 with my L, which gave me a trophy. Now I was ready to take on the Axons, and I started with Siren, which was just amazing by the way. The scenery was different to everything else in the game, so it piqued my interest by exploring this area. I found that this Axon was huge, and she liked to sing, which hypnotised everyone, so I set off to put an end to her. The enemies in this area were just mini Sirens, and I couldn't do any damage with my skills, which just confused me. But I did figure out eventually that I just had to free him, shoot them, which made these fights very easy, as with my L starting a virtuous stance due to her weapon, she would just tear them a new arsehole. After a lot of travelling around on these lift things, I came across this side boss, which I had the choice to fight or leave it. But if I defeated it, it would make the Siren boss a bit easier. This side boss was a lot tougher than the other enemies, but I clutched up with Versa and revived my L and Lune, which led to me finishing it off. Die, you son of a bitch. Hehehe. I saw I was getting closer now, so I cleared some more enemies while collecting a bunch of items along the way, and I finally arrived at Siren. Let's kick this bitch's ass. Stop waving them fingers about and fight me. This boss was different, as she would put charm effects on me, which would make the team attack each other, so I was a bit confused with what to do. Then I remembered I had an anti-charm Pictos, which I hadn't mastered yet, so I put it on my L, so at least she couldn't be charmed. I also unlocked this new skill with Versa, which as you can see, I was impressed by the damage output, tearing this Siren a new arsehole. And after doing enough damage, to then enter the final phase, where all I could do is perform counter attacks, and with my elite skills, I managed to pull this off. I'll do it. Yeah, that boss fight was epic. That wrapped up the first Axon, and it was probably the best boss and dungeon up to this point. It was just so unique, and the boss was just incredibly fun. Believe it or not, the game just still got better after this as well. Back at camp, the curator wanted Mael's help extracting the chroma from the item we got from Siren, but Mael got a freaky ass vision. Oh, that was scary. The hell? We then got it on with Cecile, as she was hinting at getting freaky with Versa. This gave me the right motivation to soldier straight on towards the next Axon, who was a neighbour directly across from Siren. This area was called the Visages, where this weird mask stared at us, and then the mask keeper came to talk to us, revealing that the Visage has invited us to meet him. I then had the choice of going straight to the Axon or going the other paths, so me, being the explorer I am, I took the adventurous route, which led to me walking through masks with different face expressions. At the end of this section, I had to answer a question about the mask's mood, and then I got the opportunity to fight it. It was a straightforward fight, to be honest, and once defeating it, I returned to the starting area. There were two other areas which were basically the same, where I defeated a bunch of enemies, and then a mini-boss, which represented a different emotion. Once clearing all the areas, I decided to head towards the Axon, where I ended up in a boss fight. What happens if we put it on? Don't be a silly bitch. We're gonna shove you and stick it right up your asshole. Wow, so he slaps ass. There must be a phase 2, that was too easy. It turns out the real Axon is actually the Mask Keeper, who wasn't challenging either, as I destroyed him quickly. But I will give credit that the design of the boss was pretty awesome. The Mask Keeper was pretty pissed off that we defeated him, so he started putting masks on everyone's faces, but Cecile clutched up to save everyone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well done, Cecile. Well, we showed him. Back at camp, we returned to the curator to create the weapon so we could enter the monolith and confront the paintress finally. But before leaving the camp, the team got pissed together, while Alicia came to visit Versa, who was his sister by the way, if you haven't figured it out at this point. They had a heart-to-heart, but then Ruinar showed up to ruin it and asked Versa if he was ready to let the expedition sacrifice themselves for something they don't know. So, there was definitely something else going on here. Now it was time to enter the monolith and confront the paintress. So Mael used their magic wand to open the barrier, and I was more motivated than ever to beat the paintress.
We can do this.
Hell yeah, we can.
Book of staff.
But first I had to go along this long path to reach the paintress, and once reaching her, we took her on. Let's do this. It's about to go down. Right, what's going to happen here? I wonder what's going to happen. Oh, we're here. The paintress. Let's do it. Nullified? What? What? You can't do any damage. Turns out I just needed to keep attacking until a cutscene played where some weird stuff went down. Uh-oh. What the hell's happening? Do something, Versa. Do something! What? Well, that was weird. Something fishy's going on here. So now we were actually inside the monolith, so all that was left to do was make my way up to the highest point to confront the paintress. Along the way, I found myself enjoying the music, but I found out that the enemies were a lot tougher. Oh, he's dead as hell. Wow, these are doing a lot of damage. On my way through this section, there were some visions which were giving me clues, which I seem to have figured out by putting 2 and 2 together. Don't tell me Versa is one of them children. There's 2 girls. There's one a male and another girl. Oh no. Oh yeah, right, alright. I also realised that inside the monolith, I was making my way through all the different areas I had visited throughout the game, such as the Stone Wave Cliffs and the Forgotten Battlefield. And finally, I arrived at the big open area where I thought I'd be fighting the paintress. But Ruinar turned up, and we got confirmation that he's the paintress's husband, which means that Versa is the paintress's son as well. It was all one big happy family story. Then all of a sudden, it just kicked off big time.
I refuse to lose my son.
Well, you're about to, bitch. Yes, Versa. We're fighting a Renoir. We are. Let's do this. What the music? Killer. Let's do this. The music is absolutely epic. What the hell is this music? Insane. This boss was just insane, to be honest, and some of the best boss music I've played with. It made fighting Runar just a fun experience, as it added a lot to the intensity. Why an easy boss? Oh, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. What the hell is this? What the hell? He's immortal then. We got him! Easy. Wow, I got your suit. That's going straight on there. I'm pretty filthy. Kill him! He's getting back up, that son of a bitch. In this cutscene, Versa and Runar had it out in a heated conversation, with Versa choosing the expedition over joining his own father, and then a creator of all people shows up, helping them defeat Runar, and then deciding to leave for some reason. I was a bit confused at this point with what was happening. Now that Runar was dealt with, I climbed the remainder of the monolith to reach the Paintress. Before fighting her, we got confirmation that the Paintress is Versa's mother, and then the Paintress started acting all weird around Mael, as she reminded her of Alicia, her daughter, which I did say when I first saw her. Yeah, we knew what. If you didn't figure it out, you're thick. Versa tells the Paintress to go home and says that Versa is actually dead, which is a bit confusing.
Verso's dead.
It led to the Paintress getting pissed off, saying we won't take the canvas from her. She certainly came across as a final boss type, as she just destroyed me very quickly. Oh, she's pissed off. Let's do this, team. Yeah, she's a bit tough. I can't fucking... I can't... What? Ah. Yes, I'm alive. I'm alive. We're still alive. We're still killing strong. Great. I love this bit. Go, 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 go. Die! Glory. This might kill it. Yes. Die! Oh, there's a phase 2. Of course.
I don't like this.
Yep. What's gonna happen? Uh-oh. Oh, the big mama's come out to play now. You're a big girl, aren't you? Why we're down and ditching? What the hell? We're not ditching. We're fighting. We're finishing this. Oh my god, this is epic. Yes! What the hell? Oh! Holy shit balls. What is happening? Oh, that was good. That was glorious. This could kill it. You're going down, bitch. You're going down. Wait. Why is it not dying? She's not dying. Okay. What, is there not a third phase, is there? See you later, big mama. What? There's 3. Yo, it's just sad now. I don't really know what's happening. We've done it. She's dead. We've killed the Paintress. With the Paintress defeated, we got a cutscene of her fading away in Versa's arms, and then Mael gets rid of her, but as she fades away, the Paintress calls out to Mael. Uh-oh. The team then celebrates as the number on the monolith disappears, meaning we had won the war. So the team planted the Expedition 33 flag and headed back home to Lumiere, as SGA could now fly. Turns out Versa had a stone all along for this. Arriving at Lumiere, everyone was obviously happy due to the victory, and it felt like the game was coming to an end. But Versa read the letter he had received earlier from Alicia, which revealed that it is a fake world, so it's all one big painting everyone is living in. And it was actually protected by the Paintress, and defeating her would cause destruction as Runar wanted to destroy everything as he was trying to save Alicia from the painted world. We also found out that Mael is actually Alicia in the Paintress's form, and then the inevitable happens. What is going to happen here? What? So everyone's dying? No! What? What the hell's going on? What? The hell? After all that, we go back to the past where we see a burning building and Verso stood in it, which turns out is a nightmare, which Alicia is having. This is the start of the epilogue. We're in the end game now. In this part, I got the chance to roam around the manor as Alicia until I reached Runar's study, which is where a bunch of canvases were painted. And we could see that Runar and his wife are frozen. Clea, Alicia's older sister, turns up to explain a bunch of plot points, such as their parents are fighting each other within the painting, and their mother is called Aline. We also find out that the Verso we've been playing as is a created version by their mother, as the real Verso died in the fire, which also burned Alicia's face, and her throat as well, which explains why she can't talk, and that explains a lot of plot points, to be honest. The whole conflict between Runar and Aline is that Aline is grieving Verso's death, so she has created this fake family within the canvas, and Runar is trying to put a stop to it, which explains why Runar is trying to kill everyone, and Aline had made her fake family immortal. Clea then asks Alicia to go back into the canvas to help Runar, as Clea needs his help with a war that's going on in the real world, and their family is held in high regard as the Paintresses. But before we enter the canvas, we find out that it's a painting that Verso created when he was younger, which explains the bond he has with the Minoko and Eskie, and it also explains why their mother wants to keep the canvas alive, as she's grieving Verso's death. Alicia also likes the idea of this painted world, as she has a better life in it with her brother being alive, and she could also actually talk. There was a lot going on, to be honest, but I believe I explained it as best I could. So Alicia enters the canvas to only be overpowered by her mother's chroma, which meant that Alicia would be reborn in this world as one of the Paintress's creations. We then get some cutscenes of Mael's life, leading to the reveal that Alicia was reborn as Mael. So with the past explained, we return to the present within the canvas, where Verso and Mael are still around due to them being immortal creations by their mother. Mael and Verso then have a conversation about what's right, as Mael says this is what the real Verso wants, but the Verso we know believes it's not right due to keeping their mother imprisoned, basically. Now that I took back control, I had unlocked a Pictos that deals more than 9,999 damage, so that was useful, and we then met up with Runar, who turns out is actually the creator, which explains a lot in why he was helping us to defeat the Paintress. Mael wanted Runar's help to save the canvas, but he was having none of it, and went a bit crazy, releasing all sorts of carnage. He even started to erase Verso as he had more control of the canvas. But now, seeing as though Mael knew she was Alicia, she had the power to counter Runar with her own Paintress magic stuff, and she saved Verso from disappearing, leading to an escape with Minoko and Eskie. I don't know why they were alive, to be honest. Back at camp, Verso helps Mael bring back Cecile and Lune as well, and once they return, they're all in with helping Mael defeat Runar, so now Mael needed to get enough chroma to bring everyone from Lumiere back to life. So, in order to beat Runar and his army, Mael was able to use chroma to bring back these ghost versions of past expeditioners, which was pretty epic, to be honest. I could now fly around the map as well, so we headed all the way back to Lumiere, where it all started, ready for one last war.
Tomorrow comes.
This whole final area was so fun, as we re-explored the destroyed Lumiere, and battered all kinds of new enemies, and some of them were pretty challenging. After a lot of killing, I arrived at the final flag, and headed towards the final boss, Runar. In the scene before the fight, Mael tries to persuade Runar to let her have the canvas as her own, but he got pissed off and was having none of it, as he wanted his family back to normal so that they could grieve at Versa's death properly. This led to an epic confrontation. Time to end this. You son of a bitch. I'm absolutely destroying him. Uh-oh. Oh, I was about to kill him. Oh, god damn it. No way. The hell is this? Oh, she's come to rescue us. Oh, hell yeah. This is so epic. This fight was very cinematic, as a whole lot of stuff was happening, with Renard flying all over the place. Aline, as the Paintress, was fighting one of Renard's accents. It was pretty crazy to say the least. I was also down to just Mael, which made it intense as my bumhole was very tense, trying to parry every move that came at me. But luckily, I had Mael's Phoenix Flame Gradient attack, which would revive everyone, and I came in clutch to see this fight off. Oh, that is so cool. We've done it. What an epic end. That was so cool. So good. In Renard's final scene, he finally gives in to letting Mael stay in her fantasy world. A portal then opens up, which Versa enters, and it leads to a scene where we see Versa as a child painting the canvas. A very emotional scene plays, as Versa now wants to put an end to the fake reality, as he doesn't want to carry on anymore and believes it's wrong and is tired of all the loss he had suffered. Whereas Mael wants to carry on living within the canvas, as she doesn't like her reality due to her life falling apart. And this is the moment where I decide to fight as Mael or Versa. What? Oh, but I like both characters. At the time, I believe fighting as Mael was the best choice, as I wanted to save everyone in the canvas world. So, with that mindset, I took on Versa. As if this is happening. Oh my god. It's safe to say I had Mael overpowered at this point, as I absolutely obliterated Versa. With one of the toughest decisions I've made done, the final cutscene played, revealing the Mael ending. Oh god.
Stop saying that.
I don't want this life. I don't want this life. Help me.
What the frick? That's her husband. The staff's back. Ugh. Versa. Okay, that scared the shit out of me. With the game ending like that, I believe it's showing that Mael deciding to remain in the canvas is destroying her real body the longer she stays in it. And with the story done, I was determined to find out what the other ending was, so this time I defeated Mael with Versa, and it was just as emotional. I mean, look how miserable I look.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Oh, this game is so hard.
You've got this.
I even had to watch Versa say goodbye to each of the characters, which was just hitting me hard at this point. Versa then put an end to the canvas and returned everything back to normal. saving his family from destruction even though it meant he was sacrificing himself. Back in the real world, I got some more hard-hitting moments as we saw the family stood over Versa's grave, and at the end, we get a scene of the expedition team waving goodbye to Alicia, or as we know her, Mael. Oh my god. After watching both endings, I personally prefer the Verso one, as I think it was the right choice to return back to reality, but there is no canon ending officially at this point, so it's all down to opinion really. Even though, deep down, we all know the Verso ending will be made canon in the future. Now that I had finished a wonderful crafted story, it was time to move on to platinuming the rest of the game as we enter Phase 2, the post game. In this section, I plan on maxing out the companion levels, completing the remaining side quests, and just explore the rest of the map having fun really. So I started off by returning to camp and talking to my companions to advance their levels. I ended up reaching max level with Lune, but in order to do this, she wanted me to find her parents' expedition journal. This led to this showdown with this giant ass worm who was just annoying to be honest, as whenever one of my companions died it would eat them, so I wouldn't be able to revive them. I also maxed out Cecile's relationship level, which gave me a trophy, and I didn't have to do a side quest for this one. Next up was Esquier, who remembered that he lost one of his rocks in Francois's cave, and Esquier wanted to trade a different rock for it. As you can imagine, it went very well. Man, he's pissed. Wow. Fuck. Oh, I did it. Nice. With Francois' one-shot attack avoided, I managed to get Esquier's final ability, which was to explore underwater, and then I also reached max relationship level with him. I still had Monoko and Mael to reach max level with, but I wanted to do some exploring before finishing them. So I went around defeating world bosses, and I was also on the lookout for this icon whenever I battled an enemy, as this indicated I hadn't got their ability yet for Monoko, and there was a lot of abilities to get. There were some bosses that I simply wasn't ready for yet, so I realised I had a lot of grinding to do. Oh well. While exploring the world, I did come across one boss I could defeat, and while battling it out, I managed to pull off a level 3 gradient attack, which caused absolutely filthy damage. I don't know what that's for. Okay. Okay, that's pretty dirty attack. Nice. There was just so much to do in this game, as I was always finding myself in a new area, such as this Crimson Forest, which had me run around finding these pedestals, which led to a boss and also one of Versa's best weapons, as he would now always start on rank S and deal more damage every turn. Now that I'd leveled up a bit more, I decided to return to the big boss that was always haunting me in the distance, and it was called Sprung. I don't know why he was so powerful with such a doofus name. This time with all my supreme skills, I managed to beat him, rewarding me with a trophy and a powerful Pictos called Traitor, which would allow me to have 2 turns in a row, something that would be very useful for the final endgame boss. I then beat another world boss who was a lot easier than Sprung, and this was possible because Mael could now deal up to 500,000 damage. With me feeling all big and hard now, I decided I would head to the big looming tower in the distance, called Endless Tower, and the name wasn't lying. In the tower there was a blank canvas which I could interact with to start a battle by choosing a stage. There are a total of 11 stages, each with 3 trials, meaning it was a total of 33 battles I had to win. As you can imagine, they get progressively harder as I would fight upskilled versions of old bosses I'd previously beaten. I also found this place as a good way to grind XP, as I reached level 66 while making my way through the battles. But I was always going to hit a brick wall at some point in this tower, as at stage 5, which isn't even halfway through it by the way, I hit a difficulty spike where I just couldn't beat this idiot with a trombone. It was a skill issue on my part, and to stop myself getting too frustrated from it, I decided to come back at a later point, as it was clearly an endgame activity. So I returned to the relaxing activity of exploring new areas and collecting journals along the way, which I was making good progress with at this point. I also received some intense training from this white Nevron, as I had to parry all her attacks, and she was a bit ruthless. This was pretty tense to be honest. I was stuck on it for a while. This is annoying. shit. I've got it this time. This is the time. It's not the time. Son of a bitch. With that parrying training done, I was also able to beat a boss without taking any damage, which gave me a trophy. I then wanted to finish off the relationship levels, so I started with Minoka, who wanted me to complete a quest to revive Noko. But the bitch Golgo was there to stop me. She destroyed me the first time, if you don't remember. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's not let's not do that. This time, I wasn't messing around, and I beat the living daylights out of her. Noko then came back to life, but unfortunately didn't have his memories, and this led to reaching max relationship level with Minoko. Next up was a side quest with Mael, where she wanted to visit Alicia, who was at the top of an axon she created. So I made my way up, one-shotting enemies along the way. When reaching Alicia at the top, Verso tried to return a letter to her. Oh, bitch. Then Alicia used their freezing time ability to talk to Mael, and we ended up fighting her. And... oh, yeah, you're nearly dead. Easy peasy. Alicia then asked Mael to return her to her family, so she did, which caused Verso to suffer even more. I got the final match relationship trophy, and now I can move on to focusing on the other tasks. I then beat this world boss, called Serpentfair, who wasn't too difficult, and once beating it, I got a trophy. And also an item which allowed me to level up a weapon to level 33, which is the max, and I got a trophy for doing so. After a lot of exploring, I also came across the enemy with the final Minoko skill, which I needed. So I picked that up and I decided to start using Cecile in battle instead of Minoko, as she had some pretty powerful support skills, such as allowing someone to deal double damage, which is crazy when combined with Mael. I then came across another gestural beach with a minigame, which was a bit annoying, as I had to climb this tower without getting hit. You can't do it. What? It's all about luck. Yes! The luck was with me. The luck was with me. Ooh, I've done them all. Nice. With all gestural games done, I decided to clean up the remaining Nevron quests, so I returned to the earlier parts of the game, where I remembered there was a fountain I had to deposit chroma into, and once doing enough, I got a trophy for the final Nevron quest. And now I believe I was reaching the end game part of this platinum, as I just had a few tougher areas to clear, starting with the Endless Tower, which I returned to and managed to beat the stage I was originally stuck on. And while doing it, I also got a combat trophy with the Cecile for consuming 24 tel in Twilight mode. I eventually reached another brick wall, this time at stage 9, so I took another break and started to work on the painted workshop, where I had to find 3 of these canvases to activate a boss. While looking for the canvases, I also found the final lost gestural, so I could now punch these rocks open, which I was seeing all over the place. I then managed to unlock the painted workshop boss, and I slapped this boss about, to be honest. Oh baby. Yeah, this is gonna be a heavy hit. It's gonna be heavy. Ooh. Ooh. Let's finish it off, Mael. See you later. Easy peasy. Again, I thought I was ready for the Endless Tower, and this time I managed to make it all the way to the final 3 battles of stage 11. But again, I just wasn't good enough to beat it. Oh, shit on it! I decided to take on a different endgame area instead, called the Flying Manor, where I had to beat a bunch of different bosses, which I had fun doing. Fucking give up, man! Once doing so, I could make my way into the final area of the manor and finish off this section. What waits for me in here? What are we fighting? Is it our other sister? It is. The older sister.
I don't like this.
Uh-oh. One of them big boys in a duelist. Let's do this. You're going down, big sis. The fuck? What the frick? Did not expect that. How much damage do I do to her? If I one hit, this is ridiculous. Oh my god. That was filthy. That was easy. Now that I'd beat Clear, there was only 2 areas left to clear. The Endless Tower, then Renard's Giraffes. The Endless Tower is recommended first, so I returned to take on the final 3 challenges, which was certainly an adventure. But I can't get that one. No, it was close, I was close, I was close. Yes! I'm doing it, baby. I'm doing it. Yeah! Yeah! First turn on my return. With me finishing the first stage on my first attempt, I had the momentum to beat the second stage as well, and then I arrived at the final battle, which was a battle against the Paintress and the Creator. Here we go. Painted Love. Big damage. Big that 13 million. Holy shit balls. Well, that was shite. What are you doing? No! Oh, what the frick? Come on. Yes. Oh my god. Could this do it? Could it do it? Do it. We're doing this. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, so close. Ah. That was close. Cough. God. Cough, man. Oh my god. I'm so close. Come on. I can block a gradient attack. Yes. It's happening. I've got it. We're doing it, Gamad. We're doing it. Finish him off. Please. Kill him. Please. Yes. Finally. Holy shit balls. Connoisseur. I found all the music. Nice. At this point, I'd conquered most of the game, and there was only one area left for me to go through, called Renard's Giraffes, and I was not prepared at all for what was waiting for me at the end. The journey through this area wasn't bad at all, as I could kill everything pretty quickly, but little did I know how unprepared I was as I headed to the final super boss called Simon. Oh, this is pretty cool. Let's do this. Way. Yeah, this is gonna be hard, I can tell. This is cool as hell. Come on then, Simon. Well, that was a bad start. What the hell? Where's all my health go? I can do that. That's easy. It's time to hit big. Let's see how much damage you can do. Yes! Yep, there we go. Well. This is certainly looks interesting. The music is insane! Fucking hell. What the frick? Oh my god, I can't do that. I can't figure out his goddamn attacks. Yeah, I'm gonna go get max level first, so I'll get too into it. So yeah, before I made any more attempts, I decided to level up my L to the max so that she could deal as much damage as possible, as I was getting nowhere with it. It was certainly a difficult boss. The grinding technique I used was by battling a merchant, as it rewarded a lot of XP, and with my L I could kill it pretty quick. After a couple of hours of grinding, I reached level 99. So for the next 4.5 hours, I just sat and got pummeled. This is impossible, man. How are people doing this? 17% of people. In between fights, I was always playing around with the Pictos system, trying to get a build where I could deal as much damage as possible. The strategy I always had going into this was using Cecile's Fortune's Fury skill first on my L, which means you deal double damage. Then I'd use Stenhall with my L in a virtuous stance to deal as much damage as possible. At this point, I was dealing up to 10 million damage. But as you can see, dealing max damage isn't always the way, as he had to parry his relentless attacks, and also he had a mechanic which would wipe dead companions off the canvas so that he couldn't revive them. After hours of dying over and over again, I was starting to get hangover at parrying his attacks, but I still couldn't get it done. I decided to take a break and come back the next day, where I made some changes, such as equipping this game-changing pick toss, which I hadn't touched yet, called Roulette. This would mean every attack would have a 50% chance to either deal 50% damage or 200%. So if I got lucky, we're talking in big numbers here. And I got a taste of the potential straight away. 1. Another annoying mechanic is that Simon would just wipe your team after reaching a certain point of his health. So I had to use my reserves, Minoka and Lune, to finish him off, which didn't go well for me. I've reached a point now though, where I was constantly getting to this last stand part, but I just couldn't deal enough damage with Minoka and Lune. But then, something wonderful happened, as I got Simon to a point where he had enough health to not enter the final stand. And I also had my L set up to deal a final blow and skip the final stand part. Oh my god, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. The music. Yeah. Wow. What a boss that was. I had finally beat Simon, which was just a great challenge and end to this game. I even got an OP sword for Versa as reward, as when using it, Versa couldn't die if he was in rank A. So now there was one task left to do: collect the final expedition journal. Get this journal, get the platinum.
Simon. More and more of my mind is fading away.
Am I missing something? There we go. Follow the trail. And the platinum is mine. I had finally got the platinum after 50 hours, which isn't too long to be honest. But this platinum was a perfect experience for me, and one of my favourite games from the past 10 years. There were so many highs in this game, such as the storytelling, the gameplay, the music, the characters. Just everything about it is pretty good, and I can't recommend it enough. It has made me think about returning to some of the older Final Fantasy games to platinum them, so if you think I should, let me know which one I should do. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.